Alright, so my Brunny Hardcore blocks just arrived, and hang on, let's not show you those yet. My Brunny Hardcore blocks just arrived, and a lot of you have been interested in them, so I'm gonna do a little review of them. But a few other things, how to make them fit a reactor plate. First things first, medium was not in stock, and I was kind of like in between medium and large and not sure what to do. So, went for the large. Also, thank you Seaside Skates in New Zealand for getting them to me so quickly. You guys are amazing. These are for Louise, that's why they're teeny tiny. Here's a size comparison between the small and the large. Yeah, there's a big difference. And here's a size comparison between the CIB blocks. CIB blocks and the Brunny blocks. So they're a lot bigger. These are both large blocks. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. We're gonna have to cut them down to make them fit, but what we're also gonna have to do is chamfer them here, because the Reactor Pro plate was never going to fit anything with straight cut. So if you fit disco blocks onto a Reactor Pro plate, or these without chamfering them, you're some sign of God, I don't know. I've cut them down on a grinder. I'll show you them not fitting in a minute. We're probably going to have to cut in here a bit more, but I'm going to wait till my dad comes back to do that because he's in charge of that shit. I like this blue colour. And they are very heavy is another thing, so I guess losing some plastic isn't the end of the world. They weigh more than my phone. I'm going to weigh one of these when I get back to you. I'm back, and the good news is the difference in weight between these two isn't as much as I thought. So these weigh 240 and these weigh 280 grams for a single block. So you're adding 500 grams, half a kilogram to your setup just by adding blocks. And they could really do with some lightning holes like drilled in along here. The smalls weigh 180 grams, so that's, 100 grams less than these, so good to know. I guess the medium would be in between that, but we don't have any to test. In case you're wondering, the reason I'm not wearing CIB blocks anymore, even though I love how they slide, is because they were really the bar was getting twisted. It's hard to tell just from the picture. They're a bit bent, but it was the twist, and every time I stalled, it would twip to a different side, and it was just horrible. You see me stamping my feet on the coping a lot because they were just wobbling. I was trying to straighten them out. So that was wrong with CIB blocks. Really good thing is, I guess it should be because they're made by Rydell and they're trying to fit a Rydell plate, is they are chamfered here. You see, like this, so I don't have to cut them down, which I'm just about to go do with these. I wait for my dad to get home before we can cut them down further. I hope they fit. So let's get these bad boys chamfered with the Dremel. So I'm just using this file down head kind of sand head thingy majig. Same head we use for Laura's to cut down Laura's kingpins. It's not the most efficient way, but it'll do. And sparks might be flying, so wear your safety goggles. And this is part of the chamfer I spent hours doing with the Dremel, which my dad then told me was not enough, and did himself in seconds with the angle grinder, so the moral of the story is just get men to do it. And this is my blocks being cut down on the grinder, and yes, they do seem to match Makita power tools, so that's important somehow. And just like that, they fit on my plate. There's hardly any room between the kingpins and the blocks, which is what I love. Okay, so I am back from the skate park where I've tried out the blocks. I just want to quickly check in. First thoughts, it's like I'm freaking levitating just on a hoverboard along the coping. Seriously. I went to do a tiny little slide and just went woo, but not in a slidey out of control way, just in a woo, really controlled. It was lovely. I don't notice the extra weight, to be honest, not a lot, but I did cut a lot off them, so yes. Who knows how much they weigh now. I should have weighed them, but I didn't, and I'm not we're taking my trucks off again, so yee. Yeah, they were really good. I think I did a proper grind on the tiny ledge because I always get wheel bite on it because it's kind of too low for me to, I don't know, I just always get wheel bite on that ledge. And it was okay, it was good. Yeah, I really liked them at the skate park. Maybe it was just the fact that I didn't have to stamp my feet. One thing that I think the CIB blocks are a little bit better at is that these felt a little bit dry, because I think the CIB blocks, I think they claim to be some sort of self-lubricating in a little way. You need wax with anything really if you want to slide big. It just means you need more wax. You can just wax your own blocks, you don't have to wax the parks because, tread lightly there. Apart from that though, I love them. I'll update further once I've tried them a bit longer, but so far so good. Quick update, just got home from Bay 66 and tried out the blocks for a second time. Did some rail slides, ledge slides, all sorts of stuff. Definitely better for ledge slides, sliding on the bowl at Bay, amazing. Backside slides, corner slides, everything. Like I'm on hoverboard. However, I was sliding a rail and my foot went like to an angle, and now the block's squiff. And then a little bit later, the next one squiff as well. I'm not saying it's Brunny's fault. It could be because I ordered blocks that were too big, really, and so there's more like a distance, like the pivot point. I don't know science. I only did a science degree, so why would I know? I chose the wrong science. Mine was all plants. Basically, it's probably my fault. Maybe I should have got medium. But it also might be because they needed to be chamfered to fit my plate, and that weakened them in some way. I'm really still surprised it happened after the second skate and to both blocks as well. I sort of stamped it back into place a bit, but it's still a bit wiggly. I took a video of it when I was at the skate park, so I'll put that here. But they still felt amazing, so I don't have too many regrets. But I did want to replace my old blocks because of this, so gonna be more testing required. So Louise has just got hers on her block, so they feel like how I thought sliding would feel before I had slid. I feel like actually moving along the coping in a slidey fashion. Thank you, Louise. Slidey fashion. Right, so it turns out I was not the only one who had a problem with the blocks going wonky. Callie had the same problem. I'm going to put you onto her in a minute because she had a great solution. I used this, my dad did all the engineering. We had to drive to Romford in his van because we had to buy a 3-metre piece of aluminium which wouldn't fit in my car. It's worked, but it's complicated and probably not something that every person can do. Louise had a different problem. Her blocks didn't go wonky, but they sort of, where it splits out into a fork, that bent down sort of the first time she skated them and stopped her trucks moving entirely. She hammered it back into place, it's been okay, but we do think the metal they use is probably just a bit too weak. Funnily enough, the wonky blocks didn't seem to bother Callie, and the reason she changed them was so that her trucks would fit in better. But yeah, solution for everything, I guess.
Hi, I'm Callie. Cantrip_ on Instagram, and I'm going to talk to you today about how I've mounted my Brunny Hardcore blocks onto my skates. So let's get going. Okay, so this is my skate. I have the Reactor Pro plate, and I found that I was having some problems with the way that the blocks were attached with the hanger that goes over the 2 kingpins. So the bottom of the kingpins here on the Reactor Pro plate has a bit of an annoying curvature to it, which meant that I initially had to Dremel out part of the hanger that attached to the block. And I also found that it was getting quite difficult to tighten my trucks as far down as I would like, because I like to have really, really tight trucks. So the only way to really get around that was to remove this hanger piece and replace it with something that attached directly to the plate rather than being over the kingpins. And this also allows the trucks to sit at a better angle. It's a better geometry for it to action the trucks. So what I have is a U-shaped profile piece of aluminium. You may be able to see it just there. And that is going all the way around the plate. So you can see it on the other side there as well. And then it's attached with 2 bolts that go through the existing holes on the Reactor Pro plate. So I found that this is a really stable way to do this. The block's not going to move at all. It's attached with the initial mounting places at the bottom of the skate there that are then just going through into this piece of aluminium again. So it means that I can really adjust the height of how high or low I want the blocks to be without having to mess around with the block itself. I can just use a larger or smaller piece of angle. So I like to have them at a height that sort of matches the trucks pretty well, so you can see the wings stick out a bit. But other than that, I like a low block. So these blocks are fantastic. I love the shape of them, and I found that this solution has worked really well for me. So, bye!
Okay, amazing. So that's exactly what I did. I followed Callie's instructions and they work quite well. Thank you, Callie, for always having nice, ingenious solutions to things and always knowing what grinds are called. It's very useful. And if you want to learn how to 50/50, we just made a tutorial together, so check that out. It's on my channel. So I skated the blocks for quite a while now, and I want to say the blocks themselves are the best blocks I've tried. There's no doubt about it. It's annoying about the hardware, and it might be a lot to faff around with, but the blocks are amazing. Yeah, I would recommend them. They do need more wax, I feel, than CIB blocks, but I mean, you know, I think CIB blocks just have something that releases a sort of waxness anyway, so unless they're made of the same material, you wouldn't expect that, but the shape is glorious and I love it. Yeah, they're great blocks. It's just maybe requires a bit more faffing around than everyone would want. I imagine this is an issue that they're still quite new, the TV problems. They'll probably fix these issues in the future. And it's good for everyone to sort of know what they're getting into. But yeah, I love the blocks and I would recommend getting them. All right, well, I'm going to say goodbye now. If there's other things you want me to review, let me know. I'm sort of working my way through all the hardware in general, but shiny new things I end up reviewing first. Yeah, see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe. Go subscribe to Callie on Instagram. Bye.